Birth is beautiful, instinctive, and our bodies are designed to facilitate birth. But there are yoga, breathing, and movement practices that can help us prepare our body for labor and birth over the course of pregnancy. Hi, I am Sakshi, and in this video, I am sharing a short sequence to help you with birth preparation by working on strength, pelvic mobility, breathing to aid you during birth, and some optimal birthing positions to help you during labor. So for this practice, I'll suggest you to keep a pair of yoga blocks. If you don't have them, a low footstool or a solid dabba or box also work very well. So gather your props, set your mat, and let's begin the practice. We will begin with candles. This practice will help us breathe well as well as connect with our core and the pelvic floor. Our pelvic floor is like a hammock starting from the pubic bone going back towards the tailbone. So the entire base, a strong and supple pelvic floor not only helps us in giving birth but also aids in faster postpartum recovery. There are so many different cues for pelvic floor engagement, and different cues work for different people. But the one I am using today in this video is the jellyfish cue, which is my absolute favorite. So if you have ever seen a jellyfish swim through the water, it expands, spreads out, and then it scoops up, expands and scoops up. We want to move the pelvic floor, engage the pelvic floor in a similar way. So as we inhale, we expand the pelvic floor, and we exhale, we squeeze, scoop, lift it up towards the ribs. So just like a jellyfish. We're going to come into a comfortable seated position, however you feel comfortable. You can sit like me on a pair of blocks or in a cross-leg position, on a cushion, in a chair, however you feel comfortable, but you want to be sure that your spine is nice and long. Now, we're going to inhale through the nose, a deep breath into the pelvic floor, feeling it expanding, spreading out. And as we exhale through the mouth slowly, as if you're blowing out a candle, that's where your name comes from, blowing out a candle, lift the pelvic floor up towards your ribs. We're going to practice that for 8 times today. So inhale, expand, and exhale, lift it up. Let's begin. Inhale, expand. Exhaling, lift it up towards the ribs. Inhale, expand. Exhale, lift. 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 Release, come back to your natural breath. You can actually pause the video, take a few breaths, and do it again for another 8 times. But we are going to move forward from here now into a tabletop position, the next movement. So the next movement is actually an optimal birthing position, and it not only helps us in creating mobility and space in the pelvis, but it can also be used as a birthing position during labor, and it can also help you with lower back pain if you struggle with that during pregnancy. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees. Set a tabletop, your hands under the shoulders, your knees under the hips. maybe just a little bit more distance, and feet together, knees are slightly apart. So this is going to be your tabletop, and from tabletop we are going to sit back towards the heels into a childlike position and then come back forward into a tabletop. That's all. We're going to move 7 times back and forth from tabletop to child. Let's begin. Push the floor away with your hands so you are strong in your lift in your position. Now exhaling, sit back towards your feet. Inhaling, move forward into a tabletop. Exhaling, move back into a child. We don't need to move the hands at all. Inhaling, forward into a tabletop. Exhaling, back into a child. Inhaling, tabletop. Exhale, child. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child. Inhale, tabletop. Couple more. Exhale, child. And inhale, tabletop. One more. Exhale, child. And inhale, tabletop. Now this one, we are just going to move back in a child and stay there for 7 to 8 breaths. So your knees are chest width distance apart. Settle back on your feet and then just slide your hands forward to however far it feels comfortable, letting your chest and your forehead soften towards the floor. Make sure you have enough space between your thighs for your belly, and if going too close to the floor does not feel comfortable for you, you can stay up on your forearms like this as well. This is a good modification if you struggle with breathing going close to the floor, or if you just don't want, if it just doesn't feel comfortable going close there. So settle in the position that works for you, and we're going to breathe here for 7 breaths. Keep breathing long and deep into the back body. Very good. Now we're going to bring the hands beside the chest and use the hands to come back up into a sitting position. The next movement we are going to do is a lunge to pyramid movement. The forward and backward movements is great for your hamstring, will help you if you have any kind of sciatica type pain as well. Again, really great for your lower back pains. I would suggest if you have something you're using for blocks, feel free to use them under your hands. It just creates more space and makes the movement a bit more comfortable. So we're going to come forward, bring the left foot forward on the outside of the hands. So whether your hands are on the floor or they are lifted up on a block or a stool, either way, the foot is going to be outside your hand. Now, if this feels uncomfortable, knee on the ground, you can add a cushion or a blanket or something to cushion the knee a little bit more. And from here, we're going to begin moving. As you inhale, press your hip forward down towards the floor. As you exhale, straighten your front leg, lengthen your spine, your chest reaching forward towards your toes. Inhale, press forward into a low lunge. Exhale, extend back into a pyramid. Inhaling forward into low lunge. Exhaling back into a pyramid. Inhaling forward into a low lunge. Exhaling back into a pyramid. Good. Now this one we will hold on each posture. Inhaling forward into a low lunge. Just stay there for 4 to 5 breaths. Pressing your hip down towards the floor, your spine nice and long, shoulders away from the ears. Breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Extend your hips back into a pyramid, toes pulling in towards you, spine lengthening forward, chest reaching towards the toes, breathing there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the posture, bring your left foot back, and we're just going to move the right foot forward on the outside of the right hand. Make sure before you begin that your foot is slightly forward from your knee so that the knee does not go too far beyond the toes when you move into a lunge. Set your hands, set your foot, and let's begin. Inhale, press your hip down into a lunge. Exhale, extend your leg, extend back into a pyramid. Inhale, press your hip down. Exhale, moving back into a pyramid. Inhale, forward into lunge. Exhale, back into pyramid. Inhale, forward into lunge. Exhale, back into pyramid. Inhale, forward into lunge. Exhale, back into pyramid. One last one. Inhale, forward into lunge, staying here for 5 breaths. Breathe, hip pressing down, spine lengthening up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Extend back, legs straightening as much as possible, toes pulling towards you, chest reaching forward in the direction of the toes. Breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Release and move out of the posture. Now this was a forward and backward movement. We're going to add some lateral movement as well, moving into a side lunge. You can again use your blocks. If you don't need them, you can just let them move to the side. Now we're going to move sideways, so we have space on the sides to extend the leg. We're going to begin with the right leg. So I am on the left side of my mat, again hands and knees, and we're going to extend the right leg out. Notice how my toes are facing towards the right side. Once I am here, I want the blocks and my hands to be exactly in front of my hips. Now let's begin. Let that knee bend. The foot is slightly forward from your knee, same way you were doing the earlier lunge. And we're going to inhale, press the hip down towards the floor, knee bending in the line with the toes, and release. Just doing that 5 times. Exhale, press down, and release. Press down, and release. Press down and release. One more. Press down. We're going to stay with this one for 5. You can keep your hands down, or if you're feeling balanced over here, you can also shift your hands, your forearm to your thigh, and continue pressing that inner thigh pelvis towards the floor. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Release, and we're just going to switch the sides. So I'm going to move a little bit more towards the right side of the mat. Extend the left leg out. Toes are pointing towards the left side. Knee is bent, but foot is slightly forward than the knees. And then I'm going to shift my blocks, my hands, so that they're right in front of the hip. Let's begin. As you inhale, press your hip down. As you exhale, release. Press down and release. Press down, release. Press down, release. One more. Press down. And this time we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. You can keep your hands down or you can come upright as well. Keep pressing that inner thigh and pelvis down towards the floor. Breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Release out of the posture. And now from here, we're going to move towards the next posture, next movement, which is called Dolphin pose. It is a half inversion and a good variation of practicing forward leaning inversion, kind of like a modified version of that. Now, there are 2 options for this one. You can do halfway or you can do a full one. So this is how we practice Dolphin. You're going to lower the forearms down. So we are basically coming on forearms and the knees. Feel free to interlace your fingers together over here. Make sure your elbows are exactly under the shoulders. Now, you can move your knees slightly back. Hips are lifted, pressing your chest and your belly towards your thighs. We can stay here. This would be your half dolphin. So you can stay in this one. Or if today you're feeling like challenging yourself a little bit more, you can lift your knees up and move into a full dolphin pose. Again, chest and belly pressing towards your legs, head relaxed down. We will stay there for 8 breaths. Good. Now lower your knees down if they were lifted and let yourself come sit back up out of the posture. Just sitting up for a few breaths. The sitting up part is as important part of this practice after your dolphin as being in the dolphin. Good. Now from here, we are going to move into a butterfly, quite possibly the most popular prenatal yoga related posture. So sitting down, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees open apart. Now, if you find that it is hard for you to sit with your spine long in this position, add some blocks or cushion, just a little bit height under your hips, and that will help you get a longer spine. First, we are just going to bring the legs as close to the hip as they can come. You can hold your feet together, and we're going to start moving the knees up and down, flapping the butterfly wings. As big flaps as you can make. So big and fast movements. Keep the spine long. We're just going to do that for a few breaths. Keep flapping those wings. A couple more times. Very good. Release. Let your knees relax. Move your feet a little bit more forward. So this is, instead of a butterfly, we call it a diamond. Move the feet a little bit more forward from the hips. Put your hands down in front of you. You can even use one hand to move the butt out a little bit, just so your pelvis can connect a little better with the floor. And then walk your hands as forward as it feels okay. You want your spine nice and long. As you're moving forward, you're reaching forward with your chest. Good. Wherever you reach comfortably, not a too deep or intense stretch, just a sweet beginning of a stretch is what we are looking for. As long as your spine is straight. So lengthen your spine forward as you breathe there for 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Very good. Start walking your hands back, coming up into a sitting position. Now from here, lift your knees back up and open them out more than hip width distance apart. And we are going to practice knee drops. So feet are open out and wide. Use your hands behind you on the floor to help to just support you a little bit into this position. And we're going to keep the right knee exactly as it is. Without moving the right knee at all, we are dropping the left knee in towards the floor. This is called internal rotation of the hip. And open it out back. As back as you can open. This is your external rotation of the hip. Both are important in drop in and move out. And both are going to help you open your pelvis at different stages. Drop in during your labor and move out. A couple more times. Drop in and move out. Make sure the right leg is not moving at all. Drop in and move out. Good. Come back to center. Now we're going to do the right side. Make sure the left knee does not move at all. Long spine. Drop your right knee in and open out. Drop in. Open out. Drop in. Open out. Drop in. Open out. Drop in. And open out. Good. Now from here, we're going to move into a 90-90. Lower your right leg in the front and your left leg in the back. So for the right leg, the calf is exactly parallel to your hip. Your left knee is exactly in line with your hip. The foot is like 90-degree angle with your thigh. Now, if you find yourself leaning over or tilting over to one side, feel free to add a block or some height like a cushion under your right butt. The movement we are going to be doing is this. We're going to, I would suggest, if you feel balanced and comfortable enough in the position, do it without your hands. If you're feeling imbalanced, then you can use your hands on the floor. Absolutely fine. The movement works good, works well either way. Now, fold and come back up. Then turn yourself towards your back knee and come back to center. We can add breath to it as well. We inhale in this position. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, back up. Exhale, turn towards your back knee. Inhale, back to center. We're doing 5 of these. Let's begin. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, turn. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, turn. Inhale, center. Last one. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, turn. Inhale, center. Very good. Now we are going to lift the knees back up. It can feel really weird in that back hip internal rotation. We are not actually very used to that movement in general. So if it is feeling weird, that's okay. It's pretty common. And we're going to just shift the sides. So now the left leg comes forward in line parallel to the hip. Right knee goes back in line with the hip. Again, if you need to use a prop under your left butt cheek, feel free to add that. And then let's begin the movement. Sit tall, inhale. Exhaling, fold. Inhaling, up. Exhaling, turn. Inhaling, back to center. Exhaling, fold. Inhaling, up. Exhale, turn. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, turn. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, turn. Inhale, center. One more. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, turn. And inhale, center. Very good. Release that completely. And now from here, we're going to come up into a standing position doing the last 2 movements. The first one is your squats and the second one is your Malasana. Let's come up into a standing position. And we are going to stand with the feet hip-width distance apart and then keep the feet hip-width distance apart, firmly connected to the floor. Imagine you're sitting back in a chair. Knees are going to be in line with the toes and come back up. We're going to do 7 of these. Let's begin. Sit down and exhaling back up. Inhale, sit. Exhale, up. Inhale, sit. And up. Inhale, sit. Exhale, up. Inhale, sit. Exhale, up. 2 more. Inhale, sit. Exhale, up. Inhale, sit. And exhale, up. Again, if you want to, you can just pause the video and do another round of 7 squats. The last one we are doing is going to be Malasana. If you are someone who is very familiar and comfortable with Malasana, you can just do it without any props. But I will be showing you how we do it with the help of the props. So I'm going to take a block, actually using 2 of them just to make the seat a bit more comfy for me, for my butt. And I'm going to sit on these blocks. Sitting on the blocks, feet are going to be hip-width distance, knees bent, toes slightly out. I want my spine to be very nicely long, lengthened. Joining the palms together, I'm going to push out with my elbows. And this is such a great posture to add some breathing to it as well. So we are going to inhale down into the pelvis, expanding with the inhalation. And as we exhale, this time we are not squeezing and lifting up. We just let it come back to the rest position. Let's begin. We are here for 7 breaths. Keep breathing into your ribs, into your pelvis, expanding with the in-breath, softening with the out-breath. If you have tailbone pain or if you have tight pelvic floor muscles, overused pelvic floor muscles, all of those things, this Malasana with breathing is such a good one to practice every day. We're here for a couple more breaths. Good. You can release this posture and we are done with the practice. Now I would suggest for a few minutes actually, stay with the Shavasana, take a nice restful Shavasana before you continue with your day. So for Shavasana, if you enjoy being lying back on your back, you can continue doing that. What I will be showing is just a side-lying version of Shavasana. So we can lie down on the left side. I'm going to use one block to support my head. And then you can just stay with this, or you can also keep one knee forward and the other leg straight. Again, this is a rest position, but this can also be a rest position during your labor and can help you with birthing as well. So we're going to stay here for a few minutes, and once you're done with that, I hope you continue with it regularly, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to share it with everybody who can benefit from this video. Take care. Have a good day.